Good morning, everyone. And I see lots of friends in the room. I just finished listening to this book called Bella Figura. And my sister-in-law, who's also an attorney in here today, hi Gretchen, she told me to listen to this book, and I did. And one of the things it says is every 2 hours you should stand up to live a Bella Figura life. So I'm going to ask you all to stand up and stretch for 1 second. I'll give you 10 seconds. But give yourselves a nice stretch because we sit too much, we sit too long. And yes, I live in a beautiful farm and I don't get to walk enough. So I wanted to give you just that moment to take a deep breath. And then I'll start when you're all ready to stretch your arms. So go ahead and sit back down. I just wanted to give you a moment to yourselves. How many of you who have been told you can't, you shouldn't, that's a bad idea? We're going to talk about that. When I was a little girl, my mother used to say, always think positively. Surround yourself with white light. Think positive. And my dad used to say, you can do anything you set your mind to. And isn't that what we tell our children? You can, but then we hear you can't. But you can. Because it takes confidence. And everything we do in life, everything we become in life is about being confident. And we've already heard this theme several times this morning. And so it's interesting because the more we hear it, the more we start to realize the validity in these ideas. So many people, so many leaders have talked about confidence or things that we need to accept. Buddha said all that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything, what we think we become. Isn't that what Linda just talked about? In the Bible, Matthew 17:20, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you will say to your mountain, move, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Gandhi said, if you have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it all at the beginning. This is what we've been talking about, right? And then, of course, there's today is your day, your mountain is waiting, so get on your way, by no other than Dr. Zeus. But think about these things. These are the things we can tell ourselves every day. Every single day, we can move mountains. We do move mountains. If you're here, you woke up today. God bless. But every day, it takes confidence to get up out of bed, to face your family, your friends, your significant others, to take care of others, to take care of yourself. And confidence, when you have it, it makes us remarkable. To have confidence is to speak in front of an audience, even when your hands are shaking quite a lot. It's to raise children, to watch them go off to school on the first day. Yes, these are my children, my husband. To see them speak in front of an audience, to watch them play sports, and have the confidence that they're going to do their best. To watch them go off to college and fly the nest. And someday, perhaps, to move into their own new lives. To fly the coop, to go live in Israel, to go somewhere else in the world. It's to be on a team, whether that team is a sports team, a law firm team, a municipal team, a tech team, or to lead that team. It takes confidence. And yes, we all always have imposter syndrome. To go to a networking event, to show up here today, it took confidence for every one of you to shake somebody else's hand that you didn't know. To know that today was going to be a great day. To be confident to just sit next to someone who you've never met before. I'm pretty sure Susan and her committee made sure that we didn't all know the people we were sitting with, so that we would be caused to have to be confident. And confidence, again, makes us remarkable. And this is my dad, who used to push me out and say, go do it, you can do it. And this is at a networking function with one of my law school professors, a judge, who always said, just give it your best. So how many of you watched the TV show Glee some years ago? Give me a raise of hands. So Glee was about a high school group of singers. Interestingly enough, I had to watch it because my kids were, and I wanted to be able to have those discussions with them. And there was this particular episode called Born This Way. And in Born This Way, Rachel broke her nose. Now, Rachel is this beautiful young Jewish lady, young girl, woman, and she hated her nose. And by the way, Gina also grew up hating her nose. She was told, oh, you have a Roman nose. Well, you know, the more people tell you you have a Roman nose and Italian hips, the more you start to go, all right, enough. So Rachel went, she has a broken nose, she goes to this doctor and he says, you need to get a nose job. Now, how many of you would react with your 16-year-old daughter coming home and saying, the doctor told me I need a nose job? Right? This is why I watch this show with my kids. So this spawned a conversation among the Gleeks, which is what they were called, and they all started talking about their insecurities, the things that made them feel less than confident. And I'm sure every one of us have insecurities, things that make us less than confident. And so what they did was they put on a show and they all faced their demons. And they decided that they were going to live in acceptance. I am who I am. I'm Lebanese. I wear glasses. I'm 4 eyes. I have OCD. They had all these, but they accepted who they were and they embraced it. And so my mama told me when I was young, we were all born superstars. She rolled my hair and put my lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are. She said, because he made you perfect. And I'm okay with saying we're perfect. He made you perfect, babe. So hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way, because God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. This is what they sang. And it was Lady Gaga. And if any of you have ever seen the documentaries about Lady Gaga, who when I first saw her and my kids were young, I was a little like, ooh, what is she wearing? What is she doing, right? Lady Gaga is one of the most incredible women I've ever learned about. I got chills. I mean, it literally can bring me to tears. I watched her documentary when she was in a Catholic school in New York, and she was so badly treated. She was so badly bullied. And here's this person who has turned that around and said, baby, I was born this way. And she can get on stage and look like this, and she could wear no makeup, and we still love her, right? I don't know about the meat dress, but, you know, that's another story. So what does this have to do with the 4 agreements, which is my topic? So about 20 years ago, I was visiting Sonoma I was at my mother-in-law's house, and she's here today. Thank you, Mom. And on her nightstand was this book called The 4 Agreements. And in her very kind Southern way, she said, you should read this. So I was 6 months pregnant and relatively miserable. Went on bed rest as soon as I came home. And then life got the best of you, you know. Raising kids, I was commuting 2 hours each way a day. The book sat on my nightstand. I don't know if my mother-in-law gave it to me or if I actually purchased it, but it sat on my nightstand like so many books do. I'm actually only listening to audiobooks now. So because of my commute, I started listening to audiobooks, and I downloaded The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And what I learned is that this 32-year-old woman who thought she knew it all had a huge ego. I was a South Philly Italian with a big ego. I was a litigator, and I was right. Truth is, and I know this is being videotaped, I'm not always right. So what is an agreement? And this is really important, a belief. It's a belief that we create for ourselves or that we accept for ourselves because of someone else's opinion. Let me ask you, is this picture right side up or upside down? It is a reflection, but is it right side up or upside down? It doesn't matter. It's a picture. It's how you choose to see it, is really my point. So my agreements throughout my life have been I'm too fat, or we might say I'm too thin. My nose is big. I'm too feminine. I'm not good enough. I'll never get ahead. How many of you have said that somewhere along the way? They don't like me. I have to work 24/7, 365. I can't sing. It's funny, that should make you laugh. These are all agreements. I have to go. I have to do this. Society tells me that's the way it should be done. These are agreements. But do they serve you? And are they true? So, this is me. When I was in 5th grade at a private Quaker school, I joined the choir. I loved to sing and I loved to dance. I mean, look at her. She was so happy. I don't know if I could sing or not. I didn't know if I was a soprano or an alto. I just knew I loved to sing and I wanted to be in the choir. So one day, the choir director, he said, all right, well, you're all going to try out individually, and then we're going to tell you where you fit in the choir. Are any of you in a choir? So I didn't know this whole process, right? So I said, because again, I can't read music. I said, and at the time, in a Quaker school, we called them Master so-and-so. And I said, Master so-and-so, I don't know if I'm a soprano or an alto, but I know that I can sing. So, I mean, I sing Bette Midler's Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy all the time. And I'm in this group at school, and we sing Reunited by Peaches and Herb. And I can sing Air Supply really well. You know, All Out of Love is my favorite song. And he said, Gina, you can't sing. You should give up. 5th grade. You should give up. Now, I started this with, how many of you have been told you can't do that, you shouldn't do that? Well, I can't sing. So for 20 years, I didn't sing at birthday parties, I didn't sing at the holidays, and I didn't sing at church because I couldn't sing. And then one day in law school, my friend Dave, we were in the car, and I was singing to myself. I didn't even realize I was doing it. And he said, Gina, you have such a pretty voice. And I started laughing, and I said, well, that's not what my 5th grade teacher told me. But these are all agreements, and I learned that I didn't have to accept these agreements. The 4 agreements advocate personal freedom from beliefs that we have made with ourselves and others that create limitations. Key word, limitations in our lives. They help us to build true and authentic confidence. This man had confidence. The 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Think about these things. They're not easy. And they changed my life. These are things I try to work on every day. And I say try to work on because it's not easy. To be impeccable with your word means to speak to yourself and others with love and trust. It means not to impeach yourself. It means not to say negative things to yourself. Because if you stop saying negative things to yourself, you will stop thinking and saying them of others. Don't take anything personally. We do this all the time. Everything is about us. That's my 32-year-old. Well, the truth is, when I give to a nonprofit, when I give of my time, it's because it makes me feel good. That's selfish. So this idea of selflessness really doesn't exist. We do things because they make us feel good, and people make decisions based on their needs, not yours. And it's okay. Don't take it personally. Don't make assumptions. So before I went to the Philippines on a mission trip, I assumed that these children who lived in poverty and wore ripped clothes and played amongst dirty things were going to be unhappy. Not at all the truth. Rather, they are the happiest, most God-fearing, most loving people I've ever met. I learned a lot. And always do your best. Whether you are sick, stay home. That's your best. Or if you can give it 150% and help somebody else on that day, be impeccable with your word to yourself and others. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best. That's what the 4 agreements is about. You can say I'm beautiful. You can say I'm smart. My nose is perfect. I am feminine. I am in control. I'm where I want to be. I like me. I hope every one of you will say that before the end of the day. I create my own balance and I can sing. In fact, that's me going out Christmas caroling a few months after I read the book that my mother-in-law encouraged me to read. So this is my final slide. I took this picture in the Bahamas where these people live life. And I love this picture. And I challenge you to go this way or that way. But just know that you're in control of your decisions today.